Welcome back to another Sing Second podcast Tailgate crew video. We are making what I call boneless ribs. Fresh dried fruit, jumbo shrimp. You can have a boneless rib. What's in the name? What's in the name? Barbecuer's log. What are boneless ribs? I just take pork loin and make them the same way that I would make ribs and then cut them up into pieces. Pretty easy to eat, pretty easy to make, and pretty tasty for game day. So 3 keys that are huge for tailgating. The night before or the morning of, I will usually dry brine. I'm not much of using apple juice or any kind of liquid. Dry brining is just taking some kosher salt and coating around the outside of the meat, allowing it to set in there, and then natural juices from the pork will actually be the liquid to brine it. Coat it on the outsides, kind of press it into there. Depending on the size of the meat is how much salt you would have. So I'm not going to put near as much on this as I would like a pork shoulder. Because this is all brining with salt, none of the rubs I will use will contain salt in them to prevent them from being oversalted. All right, so there we are. We're ready for this to set out for a little while. Next thing I'll do is gather the rubs that I'm going to use for this, and we'll see it when we're ready to season this. We have our pork loins right here, just from the store, nothing too fancy about them. And it comes with like 2 cuts, if you call it that. We are ready to put on the seasoning. One thing that I like to add, this is a little tip I got from Uncle Doug. When he makes his ribs, he puts this on with the seasoning, and it's mayo. Oh, if only I knew where that mayo was. Wow, little TV magic right there. If you can conjure your seasonings to you, putting on a little mayo on the top of each of these. And then I gotta put all of this, rub it all on there. This is my least favorite part. I hate all of it. I hate all of it. It's got olive oil. This is gonna help kind of hold in the seasoning. Gonna help with the little crust. Some of you skeptics out there, why not yellow mustard? You can use that too. But a lot of people don't use mayo, so I'm using that to switch it up. And I'm running a little low on the yellow mustard. I don't want to go to the store anytime soon. Nice and mayo-y. Well, now that I'm done with this mayo, I can go ahead and get rid of that. Wow, nice again, getting rid of that. I have 2 types of seasoning I'm going to put on these pork loins. The first seasoning. Memphis dust. Wow, it read my mind. Nice. Memphis dust, this comes from a site called AmazingRibs.com. And Meathead Goldwyn, the barbecue whisperer, has his recipes for this on the webpage. I'll include the link down below in the description. I'm going to put this on one of these. Alright? This one up here. I'm seasoning liberally. Memphis dust is like what I use for probably 99% of the time that I make ribs. Because I like Memphis style ribs. I'm going to kind of rub it in a little bit, push it into the mayo, which is then going into the meats. Barbecue the meats. There are people who will never put mayo or mustard on. And you don't taste it. You don't taste it on the ribs. My first time I was scared. A true character is what a hero does in face of adversity. That's what I always say. This Memphis dust, just a reminder, no salt in here because of the dry brine. So I don't include any of the seasonings I make. I do not ever put salt in them because I do the salt separately. Well, I think we're about done with this. All right. Now the next thing I want to do for this other pork loin, I want to add a different type of seasoning. Here we go. Just like magic. St. Louis style barbecue rib rub. This one is one from the store. So this other one is stuff I mixed together from that page I told you about. The St. Louis rib style barbecue rib rub here is from Gary's local grocery store. Not an official sponsor of this podcast. Maybe one day if they play their cards right. So I'm going to sprinkle this over the top. And this has a nice little color to it as well. It's got some pepper flakes that are pretty visible in there. Rub that into there. Very good, very good. Hear that siren? This might be my last video. What an amazing journey. If it's not people mowing the lawns during the intro, they're blowing fire tornado sirens during the spices. Not while I'm pouring. All right, so we got rid of that. And I am now going to wash my hands because I need to add a little pepper and I need to grind it. And I don't know how I'm going to do that one-handed. Pepper. I'm just going to put the pepper on the top. And the last few things that we need to add onto these before we can get the grill started. All right. We got our Worcestershire sauce, my favorite, like I said last episode. Sprinkle a little on there, on the top. Sometimes I'm sprinkling this and then I think, whoa, did I grab soy sauce? But I got the right stuff, that's good. And the Tabasco. I am only gonna put the Tabasco on my Memphis style. Little heat. All right. These are seasoned. So the Memphis style, that's just like Memphis style ribs. I'm not going to put any sauce on those when I'm done. I will brush a little sauce on the St. Louis style. All seasoned. They're going to rest for a little bit. It's time for me to go out and get the grill started. Here we are, back at the grill. Charcoal and wood chips and wood chunks are all going. And if you don't have any wood chunks, what you can use is little shavings of $100 bills. Price of lumber, am I right? And slowly get it up to 225 to 250. That's kind of the range I'm looking for. Right around then is when I will put these boneless ribs on the grill. It's ready. We're gonna put these boneless ribs on the grill. And I'm hoping I can fit both of these pieces of meat onto the warmer up on the top. That's what I'm hoping. Get it nice and smoky, low and slow is what we're trying to do here. And use my trusty temperature probe. I'm just going to put this in one of these that I think is a little bit bigger or thicker. No matter how much it's calling your name. Brandon. Nope, not opening it. Just looking at my temperature probe. According to the internet, and pretty much everything you find on there is 100% accurate, 145-ish degrees for your tenderloin is pretty solid. So some people like theirs a little warmer, so that's kind of your preference. Once I am about 5 to 10 degrees from my target temperature, I'm gonna open it up and put on some honey and butter on one of the slabs. So we'll see you then. This is Blue. He says, "Those boneless ribs done yet?" No, Blue, not until the thermometer says so. Time for a little sauce. I am just putting this Rib Rack barbecue sauce spicy we got at the store a little while back ago. It's pretty good. I'm gonna put it on the St. Louis style. Don't need too much. I'm gonna brush it. I'm gonna brush the sauce on the meat. It puts the sauce on the ribs. It puts the lotion on the skin. Gonna let that sauce tighten a little bit. And we are getting awfully close to boneless rib time. Boneless ribs are done. Let's take them off the grill and let them rest for a bit. Boneless ribs have rested. Now it's time to cut these up into little pieces so you can eat them with your hands and enjoy these boneless ribs. So I'm gonna cut these up. And there they're cut up. It is serving time. So we're gonna enjoy these, have a little dinner, and wrap this thing up. Well, those were delicious. You'll have to take my word for it. They smelled great too. So thanks for watching. Give this boneless ribs recipe a try yourself and sound off on the comments below. And thanks for watching. Be sure to grill first and sing second.